Brian, what stands out about this BYU offense, all the success they have so far?
Yeah, just their efficiency. They run the ball effectively. They get explosive plays with the quarterback run game. They also have big physical receivers that they create a lot of mismatches. They go up with the ball, they're difficult to tackle. The quarterback is able to extend plays and has a big arm, so he can push the ball down the field.
What did you think of the defense's performance in practice today?
We got things we got to clean up. I mean, this is a situational day. There's some different things that we have going in, and so it wasn't as clean as we'd like, but our guys are engaged, and we'll get it cleaned up here in the next 2 days.
What does a guy like Shamari Simmons meant to this defense over the last couple of years?
Just his consistency is just a model for really our theme to be consistently good and occasionally great on defense. And he's not a guy that some days brings it, some days doesn't. He always comes into the building with the right attitude, and he's just always the same. So he's a guy that you can depend on. He doesn't bring dysfunction. He's a leader. He just brings his lunch pail to work every day, and he just gets to it.
Third down defense has been one of the more criticized necessarily statistical numbers about this defense. Very much better day last Saturday. How important do you feel like it's going to be against a team like BYU?
Well, I mean, it's things you always can improve on, and we're never ever going to we're never ever going to be satisfied with where we're at. It was a little skewed last week. I think we were like 48% on third down, but it's skewed because they converted on 4 of their third downs at the end of the game when we're playing 2 minutes and trying to run out the clock. 165 of their yards or something was in the last 2 drives, or 145 or something like that. And so, you start looking at stats. Stats don't tell the truth. Stats will lie to you, about the way we played. And our guys played the situations great last week. We always have a couple breakdowns. We always have some things we have to clean up, but it was our most complete game overall.
Kenny talked about the crowd noise in practice and communication on defense needing to improve. What would you like to see in that area on Saturday? Better communication?
Yeah, I mean, it gets loud. It gets really loud in our stadium, and it's different than it's on the road. So sometimes our guys can get comfortable, on the road, and we've seen how we played on the road in recent weeks. We played really well. So, we haven't played as well at home or consistently. We played really good in stretches at home, but being able to play great defense for 4 quarters is really going to be our goal. And so the emphasis has been on communication and dealing with the crowd noise this week. So that's an area that we have to improve upon this week.
This is the last home game for some seniors. Caleb McCullough, Shamari, others. What can you say about what they've brought to this program?
Yeah, just again, Caleb, you're talking about 2 guys, right there that they're just models of consistency. The guys that have been here through thick and thin, they're through our ups and our downs, just on our side of the ball and as a program, and those guys just always came to work. And when you have those guys are really the foundation or the cornerstone of what you're trying to build, and they've been that. And you can see the years that they're both having, and it's a byproduct of just doing things right, doing things hard, and sticking with the process and becoming process oriented, not focusing on the wins and losses, not being up and down, whichever way the wind blows. Those are guys that you can build your program on, and we have. And our culture and our standard has been elevated because of those guys and the consistency that they've shown.
The takeaway situation is one area you guys have excelled in. What's been the key in turning that around from last year?
I mean, I say this a lot, and you guys ask the question a lot, and I know it's not a deflect. It's turnovers are a product of complementary football, and in all 3 phases: field position, offense scoring points puts pressure on other offenses to drop their quarterback back, and a lot of times, coordinators that get into dueling where they gotta, who's going to score more points or who can get more yards or create more explosives, and that's what we've done, and we've been able to play complementary football. So there's been more pressure on offenses to push the ball and score, whereas there maybe wasn't, last year. And so it's been a product of, I really do think that's the biggest factor. And then other than that, it's our guys emphasizing taking the ball away and taking our opportunities. And we dropped 8 interceptions last year, just hit us right in the hands. And and this year that's not happening. So we got to continue to focus on that and make that an emphasis, and that's an area that we have to be successful in.
How do you feel the growth overall, just the interior defensive line this season? Because I mean, you've obviously gotten a lot of pressure up the middle, driving guys back, making running backs pause, but just overall growth of the interior.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of it is you got competition in that position every week, and you're going to see different guys starting each week because we expect that group. Competition drives performance and has driven the consistency with that group. Coach Reynolds and that side of the ball, I mean, the defensive line coaches have done a phenomenal job keeping those guys locked in and focused on the game plans every week. And then, up front, it's about ability, and those guys are violent guys. So they got to continue to play that way, and everything starts up front for us. We go as they go.
When you have an intense vocal leader like Xavier Alford on the defense, how does that change the energy or intensity that the entire defense plays with?
I mean, you need leaders, and sometimes, leaders are guys that lead by example. They just quiet guys, don't say a whole lot, like Shamari or Caleb. And then you got guys that are vocal leaders. But, to be a leader, you have to be consistent, right? And people have to buy in to you first before they buy into your message. And they bought into Xavier Alford last year because he brought it to work every single day, and he had no chance of playing. So he earned the respect of his teammates even before he even stepped on the field. So those guys, the buy-in there was automatic, and him being able to play this year, you can see his sense of urgency, his ability to step up as a leader, has been critical and really paramount to us when we didn't have that last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
How would you assess the group's edge going into Saturday?
It's still early because, we're still, you're installing the game plan. Everything's situational. We always get a really good feel about where we're at when we're walking off the field on Friday. So I think it's a typical week, to be honest with you. There's things that we're doing really, really well. There's things that are really clean. And there's other situations. It's usually, today it had to do with the crowd noise. It had to do with a couple of different situations and things that we had going in. And we got to get better. We got to clean those things up.
Alfred's been part of a safety position group that looked very strong coming into the season. Has that position group exceeded even what you were expecting out of them this season?
It's funny. I mean, expectations is the thief of all joy, right? So the only thing I worry about is coming to work and giving those guys the information. And my commitment as a coach to these guys, they got one shot. They got 4 years to play college football. They got 48 games guaranteed, and I'm just trying to get those guys as prepared as possible. So. I look at guys, and I look at guys, and I just want to make sure that those guys are ready to go, and that's our coach's commitment, to our players, is that we do everything to keep them prepared so they go out and have fun on Saturday. So the game days, like for me, Monday for me is Sunday through Saturday afternoon. It's in the process. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the game day. That's why you see coaches get hot-headed out on the practice field, and they're so calm on game days, because game day is really, hey, the plan is in. Now it's up to me to call it correctly, and if the preparation meets the performance on the field on Saturday, the winning takes care of itself. So just, again, safeties. Listen, I got great expectations for every group I coach, and this group has really met my expectations, even exceeded.